Hey gang, Sean from The Good Dog in NOLA on a very rainy, cloudy, foggy, it was just pouring day. TGD Video Tip, this is part 3. I swear it's the last part. We've been talking about obedience versus attitude, and it sparked a lot of really great conversation. Some people put some really great stuff, shared some really great stuff, really got me thinking in some cool ways about some ideas. So I just wanted to share this with you. There's actually a comment on the last posting, and I can't remember the person's name, but it was just super awesome what she shared from like her own take on things, which I'm gonna borrow a little bit, and then also some wisdom a dog trainer has shared with her about obedience and respect and them not necessarily being connected. So what it really sparked was just like a real clarity that I've been trying to like get across, that the difference between like doing a rehearsed behavior and the attitude behind it. And what kind of jumped out at me this morning was like something that I'm sure we can all identify with, which is like the really like grumpy, nasty, toxic, unhappy, unpleasant, but highly efficient, checking all the boxes, doing all of the tasks, saying all the right words, fast food worker, right? We're just gonna nail them. So if you're a fast food worker and you're really nice, then like this isn't about you. But we've all had that experience, right? We all had that experience where we stood in line, walked up, and they're like, won't even look at you, like, next. You walk up and you're like, yeah, I'll have this, and this, and yeah, and that too. And they're like, uh-huh. All right, that'll be $8.95. And I'm not looking at you because they're not looking at you. And I'm probably not even doing like the best version of it, but so far it's been like, you know, how can I help you? Here's the price of those items. All the boxes are checked. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. All the rehearsed behaviors so far are right on the money, but their attitude sucks, right? So hand them the money, they take it, they still don't look at you. Grab the money, put it away. Your number's 35. Next, no eye contact, right? So what is the attitude behind it, right? They've done all the right stuff, but the attitude's really dismissive. The attitude's really disrespectful. The attitude's very unpleasant. The attitude says F you. But the attitude says, I'm gonna check all the boxes to make sure I don't get in trouble and that I can just get by with the skin of my teeth. Or the behavior, you know, is checking all the boxes, not the attitude. Behavior is checking all the boxes. So, and get by the skin of their teeth and make sure that like, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I said all the stuff that I needed to say. It's just I said it in a really crappy way. So, and he continues on, and finally it's like, number 38, 35, I can't remember what our number was. Just annoyance permeating every bit of their being. You walk up, you go to get your bag, grab it. Thanks, have a nice day. Zero response. Have a nice day. Maybe they didn't hear you. Thanks. And then they look away. So that's like the exaggerated, really bad experience, but I'm sure some of us have had, I mean, like, I can't even come close to some of the experiences that I've had where I've really been blown away by like how much nastiness somebody can get across to you, how much negative energy somebody can get across to you while doing a transaction that really is like they've done all the things they're supposed to do, but everything they're doing in a shitty way, right? So I still don't know the rules if I'm allowed to cuss on like Facebook or anything like that. So that's why you hear me like kind of censoring myself. But I'm hoping that that gets across to you. I hope that's a good comparison, and a hat tip to, I can't remember the person's name who put the last comment on the post yesterday, but it's really like you kind of like lit the fire and got me thinking about it, because it's such a clear one of like doing the task exactly as the task needs to be done. Of course, the manager would say you need to do it with a pleasant kind of thing, but that's really not what needs to be done. What really needs to be done is like the task, you know, hi, how are you? Get the money, wait over there, here's your number, give you the bag, blah, blah, blah. And the difference between that and somebody when you walk up and you say, hey, how you doing? And they're like, I'm doing great, how are you doing? I'm good, thanks. I'm gonna get this, and they're like, what, are you struggling between like the chocolate shake or the vanilla shake? You're like, yeah, I don't know which one. They're like, go for the chocolate. You're like, okay, cool, thanks for the help. And that's $5.85, really inexpensive. And you say, cool, here's the money, or here's your credit card. And they hand it back to you. They go, your number's 35, wait right over there, and we'll be with you in just a sec, thanks. And so you wait over there, and then number 35, your order's ready. No kissing ass, no big gilding the lily or anything like that. But it all feels good, feels nice. They're checking all the boxes, but they're doing it with a different attitude, different demeanor, different intent, and making you feel good in the process, which is really nice. And so you grab your bag, and before you can even say goodbye, they say, have a great day, hope to see you soon. And you're like, thanks. And you walk out, and you're like, wow, that feels really good. So that's a comparison, right, of like a fast food experience where somebody was obedient and did the bare necessities, but did it all with really crappy attitude, versus a fast food experience where somebody checked all the boxes, were very obedient, but did it with a really great attitude. And I know the parallels aren't perfect because dogs aren't gonna get behind the counter and serve you food and have like tone in their voice in the same kind of way, but dogs will do their own version of this stuff. And if you get really keen on looking at it, you'll start to be able to dig under those layers and start to peel those layers back and start to see what you need to go after. And I think that's the biggest thing. I want to kind of nail this down really quick, is that doesn't mean you're going to get rid of your dog's attitude. My dog Junior had plenty of attitude, and it was never eradicated. Like, it was never removed. It was never, like surgically removed. Manny and Belle, my two dogs that I have now, they're both great dogs. They're both bomb-proof with dogs, and they're bomb-proof with people. Belle is soft and sweet as they come. Like, literally gets out of any dog's way, or is always looking for the path of least resistance. Manny, I call him the bowling ball, because literally he bowls himself through life. He'll stomp over anyone or anything to get where he wants to go. He's a nice guy. I love him to death. But man, Manny doesn't give a crap about anybody being in his way or who he has to stomp or tromp to get to where he wants to go. So both safe dogs, both dogs will come when I call them. Both dogs are fairly obedient and all that stuff, but very different attitudes, very different stuff cooking up here, different personalities even. And I don't want to remove that, but I do want to adjust it as much as I can in the places that it doesn't best serve my life living with my dogs. So I work on Manny being less pushy. I work on Manny being more patient. And I look at moments where, like, great, so he sits and then I invite him in, but then he comes in like a rocket. No, don't come in like a rocket. That's the attitude of like, I want to get here. It's like, no, he knows the rules of like he's got to wait until he's released, but then he's like rocketing. He's not doing his best work. So then I focus on that, right? And that's a very mild example, but there's so many examples of dogs that come in that we're doing work with, or in any different context, even like not straight up obedience work, and we're just seeing attitude, eye contact, the way they look at you, the way they move around you, whether they give you the stink eye, whether they try and ignore commands, how they position their body around you. There's so many things that dogs are saying all the time about how they feel about their world and about you, and your job is not to expunge their personality or remove, their personality, but it's to make sure you harness the best stuff out of it and see more than just obedience. Just doing rehearsed behaviors does not mean you have a respectful dog. And I wish I could remember the quote that this woman had shared from another dog trainer, like an older kind of like dog trainer, been around for a long time, but it was like something akin to like, an obedient dog does not mean a respectful dog, something like that. And I'm sure it was said in some kind of profound fashion, but it's really the truth. And so this, I swear, is the end of the whole like obedience versus attitude thing. And they're not really verses, but I just wanted to be a little bit like inflammatory. But I really want you guys to look deep. I really want you guys to see that there's more than just commands. There's a dog with a personality and a demeanor and intent under there, and that stuff is fueling how they go about moving through the world, doing those commands, and everything else in between. A lot of the stuff isn't even command-based that's, at issue. So anyways, you can do great commands and still be a jackass, just like my fast food little analogy helped explain. So I'm hoping this helps you guys dive a little deeper into this. We're closing it out. There'll be no more after this one, I swear. But it's a really important one. And a lot of people asked, how do you develop it? You develop it by watching dogs with the intent of seeing their attitude, right? Like anything else in this world, you have to want to see it. You have to have it on your mental radar first. And when you start to want to see it and you're looking for it, you'll start to find it. It'll slowly reveal itself, little bits and pieces. You'll see things. Don't jump to conclusions and don't be a maniac and be like, I see a bad attitude. Just start to feel it. Just start to see what the dog's revealing beyond just like, oh, he sits when I ask. What's the dog feel like in all these other contexts of this wide world that you guys are living together? That's what you really need to be looking at. And my best advice is just take your time, put it on your mind that that's what you're looking for, and start looking for it. And slowly, if you do the work and you're around enough dogs, it'll be revealed to you. All right? Sean from The Good Dog and Nola. Gotta get rid of this rain so I can get some stuff done. All right, I got a big bike ride ahead of me. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.